Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast. Elliot Shore Parks, James Seltzer with you. And we had action down there at the Novier Complex today. There was a fight. I saw your tweet. Elliot goes all caps for the fight tweet, which was very
had
exciting.
to let the people know. Big
time. Zoe is very excited. She is.
I can tell, yes.
Yeah. Emily had to go to work. Happy 14th wedding anniversary to Emily. And
look at this.
This is my present to her.
Very nice. Well, look, like I said, when
camp
Nick brought
is
his
over,
kids,
so you know, it's like great. It's good.
Yeah, like I said, when Nick brought his kids to the podium, I will always support family being in these.
That's right.
Things.
We are a family friendly.
Yes, podcast. We've always have been, always will be.
So we have real fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to
fun, but certainly stuff to talk about.
Oh no, a potential.
Yeah.
Hit to the record.
I don't think you're going to like what I have to say.
Oh,
just putting that out there
now. What I want to hear.
Know.
Well, I don't know if you're going to like where I'm going to start the pod because I just found something incredibly concerning from Tucker. Very concerning prior to the pod. You delete all your old emails like a psycho?
So, I am actually I keep a very clean mailbox. Like I never have unread emails. I never I would say right now I probably have maybe like 30 or 40 emails total
in your whole
mailboxes.
Thing?
Yeah, maybe like
dude. So in my Odyssey account right now, I have 5,748 unread emails.
Wow.
I own 20 unread emails in my Gmail because I keep that tighter. But I have total messages. You said you have 30. In my email, I have 12,350.
Yeah, that's absurd. So
messages in my email.
I will keep things in my email box that I know I'm gonna need in the future.
Except the link to this podcast that we use the same link every time, and that was how this whole thing started. I say to Tucker, I'm like, why does he use an old link? I just search your email and bang, it's right there. And he's like, he deletes his emails. I was like, what?
Not to be a diva, but it is nice just having it. It is nice just having it sent to me and having it being at the top of the box. But I will say I went through and found
it Tucker, do your job is what he just said.
That would not be the end of the world if I could just click on it. But I did find it today. Tucker didn't even send me the link. This is via an old link.
Proud of you, dude.
Yeah, apparently I did keep it in my email, so I guess I deemed it important enough to keep it. Right. But it's also crazy to me. It's the same link all the time. I know, I get it.
I know. Well, look, especially because it looks different. Like that's something I'm realizing going back to them. It's not the same numbers and letters, but it always is the same spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technology, man. Am I right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy times we live in. Crazy times.
All right. Yeah. Can I belabor it? Are there any other ridiculous things that I can bring up before? I mean, Zoe's here. Hey, Zoe. Maybe we'll hear from Zoe later if she's good. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, which we release, I believe it's 6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
6 p, as they say, or in military time, 1800. See how quick I did that?
I like military time. Maybe it's I'm used to it because I was just overseas, but I'm very good at figuring out military time. I can do it super quick.
Let's be honest. It's way more logical than having all the same numbers go twice.
It is. The only thing, the only way I'd counter that though is I guess it just makes sense. But when you talk, they must say 6 p.m., 6 at night. They must have.
There's a reason the military uses it. It's more precise.
Agreed.
You know?
Yes, there is a reason the military.
Yeah. Look, Emily wears her watch on military time. I think it's a psychotic thing to do.
Yeah, that is psychotic as much as I do like it. I do like it, and whenever I notice people have it, I think there's got to be a unique reason for that. But I do not do it. Maybe I will. I'm with you. Actually.
I'm with you. Yeah. So 1800 tonight. Check us out on the WIP YouTube channel.
The most important podcast coming out tonight, needless to say.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. There are no other podcasts having anything to do with anything.
I will say, so today...
You're just so into it. Elliot hasn't stopped talking about the orange...
It's my entire timeline.
The orange background. I didn't even know about... Elliot informed me of the orange
I had to let you know.
Sparkles or whatever,
Jason Kelsey was at practice today.
To think that there are some people listening who, as we just said, that there were like me yesterday and are like, I still don't know what you're talking about.
I would think a decent portion of people.
Shout out to my people. That's what I'm going to say. Shout out to my people.
So your person, Jason Kelsey, was at practice. Shout out to my
guy. Yes.
I was weird. I saw him at practice. And I was thinking, it's got to be wild to be one of the top 10 most famous people in the world right now. You could debate that, but certainly I think among men in America, he's probably top 10 right now.
I don't know. I mean, it's
you don't think so? I mean,
well, it's like, how do you rate like Tom Cruise? Does he ever leave the top 10?
He's
you know
probably
what I mean?
there. Yeah, he's probably
like, you know, there. So I think there's a few actors or actresses who are probably, you know, of that level where they never leave it. Like Julia Roberts is probably more famous. Or you said men, excuse me.
Men,
But still, you know, you get my point. George Clooney.
Right.
Is Jason Kelce more famous than George Clooney? I don't know.
Like
He's
Barack
having a
Obama,
moment.
Michael
Exactly.
Jordan.
So that's my point. I think there are people who are like grandfathered
LeBron.
in. Denzel. Like, you know, yeah. So, but I get your point. I think of people like who are in the zeitgeist right now.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable amount of, I mean, literally probably 25 to 30 million people will be watching him tonight. Like, that's got to be pretty wild. I mean, only about half of that will watch us. So it's, you know, similar.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think people are going to be leaving in the middle of this if it's as bad as you intimated.
Taylor's not coming, but yeah.
Special guest potentially if she's
Can you
good
imagine
during
if
the
we
pod.
brought Taylor Swift onto the pod?
Zoe Seltzer as opposed to Taylor Swift.
Hey, I'm a bigger fan.
It's not no question who I prefer.
No question. I mean, exactly. Yeah. We're 2-0 on this pod.
Sorry, Taylor. You know, tough beat for her. All right, let's get to it. How'd it go? What happened? How bad was it? I mean, so it was a loss. She was, I mean, you just
No.
Okay, so we're not there yet. All right, you want to lead up? All right, do it. Do the thing. It's all you. The floor is yours.
I'll start with it. They won. I thought they won the practice.
You buried the lead. That was great.
I thought they won. But here's the thing. I think it's generous. I gave them a W.
It was a closer game than
asking around to some
Browns.
Exactly. Like the game that I would ask people to picture in their head if they want to picture what it looked like is the win over the Panthers last year. Like that's what it looked like to me. I asked a few of the other beat writers after practice,
which was done by a Super Bowl champion team. Just to
no, for sure. Now see, this is
I'm kidding around. You know what's funny? You know what's funny is it was right in front of you. You could have actually said the win over the Browns last year. Because that was that type of game. Also, remember before the bye or right out of the bye, that was the game where people wanted Sirianni fired after.
Yeah, they were better. I thought they were a little better than that.
But you know what I mean. It was on the plate for you.
I forgot they even played the Browns last year. Wow, good point. So here's what I think the crux of this podcast is going to be.
Nice job there.
Thank you. I'm going to say I'm concerned, and then you're going to say it's just training camp. They won the Super Bowl. So that is what
we're done. Thank you for doing
exactly. Final thoughts, right? So. This is what it is. Like, if you're listening to the pod as I talk and you're saying it's just training camp, like, I can't completely disagree with you on that. But I also have to be honest about what I'm seeing every day. And I have to say, like, last year, I thought Jalen had a special training camp. And I thought he came out and had a special year, obviously winning Super Bowl MVP. So, like, first I'll talk big picture, then I'll talk Jalen. So today, I gave them the win because I thought the defense was really, really good. The Browns quarterbacks are freaking atrocious. Like Joe Flacco, props to him, you know, won a Super Bowl. Like, he's not good anymore. It is what it is. Like, he's not good anymore. Dylan Gabriel.
Real quick on that, I think that Tom Brady gave us an unrealistic expectation of how quarterbacks should age. Like, back for the longest time, it was like 35, 36, 37. Like, these guys are cooked. Yeah. And, like, Brady happens and Rodgers wins a couple MVPs in his late 30s. And it's like, like, quarterbacks don't play into their 40s. We got to stop expecting it. Yeah. Anyway,
and I mean, he sailed a bunch of passes today. Dylan Gabriel.
Or don't play at a high level, I should say, because quarterbacks can hang around. You know.
Right. Dylan Gabriel is got to be the smallest quarterback I've ever seen on a football field. And this is coming from a, average height man. Like, I'm not out here height shaming. I'm just being honest. Like, the dude looks tiny out there. Now, Shedeur Sanders got hurt apparently in warm-up, so he didn't practice today. But I didn't find that out till after practice. All practice, I'm thinking, what in the world are they doing? Wasting their time on Dylan Gabriel. He is not good. Kenny Pickett. I actually think Kenny Pickett is clearly the best of the three that practiced today.
You love Kenny.
Dude, he probably had the best throw of the day today. No lie. But ultimately what happened is the defense completely kept the Browns offense in check. So I charted the Browns quarterbacks, and the Browns quarterbacks going up against the first team defense today against the Eagles were 13 of 19, no touchdowns, no interceptions. There was one play where you could argue it was a touchdown. I felt he was sacked on the play, and so I did not count it. But if you wanted to be overly generous, you could say they got one touchdown. But regardless, a majority of these snaps, or at least over half of them, that would be the majority, but not a huge majority, were inside the 20, 25. So, like, they were in the red zone. I thought they did a good job keeping them out. There were some pass deflections. I thought the defense was really good. The issue on the day was the offense, and the issue on offense, to me, was partially Jalen Hurts. Now it has to be said, the offensive line was not good. It actually reminded me a lot of their first joint practice against the Browns in 2023, when the Browns came in, they had more energy. The defensive line got all over Jalen, and I gave him a loss that day. I thought they came in with more energy, and the difference to me this year was the Eagles' defense was way better. In 2023, the Eagles' defense wasn't as good, as we would come to find out throughout the season. This time around, the Eagles' defense was better. So they kept the Browns out of the end zone. The Eagles on offense had, I think, 5 possessions, and on 3 of them, or 2 of them, scored a touchdown. So Jalen had 2 touchdown passes. Both were within the 5. Both were wide open checkdowns. Like, I'm not impressed by the 2 touchdowns, but it's still just letting you know. Like, I know what an impressive training camp touchdown looks like, and they were not impressive training camp touchdowns. But outside of that, like, he could have had 3 interceptions today, and if you include an interception he threw in one-on-ones, which literally never happens. I've seen so many one-on-one reps in training camp. I've maybe in my 15 or 16 years covering training camp seen like 4 one-on-one interceptions. Like, it just never happens. He had a one-on-one interception today where it was Anais Smith was covered, but I thought the throw was poor. Even though it was Anais Smith, it was a poor throw. So he starts out the day with an interception in one-on-ones. Then the first 7-on-7 drill. So the first time the first team offense is going up against the Browns defense, Jalen comes out. I'm gonna give you a little play-by-play here as I pull it out. Pull it out. As Jalen.
There now.
Hey, there we go. All right. So first throw, incomplete to Dotson. Second throw, an interception in the direction of Dallas Goedert, where it was kind of a bang bang play. He threw it to Goedert. The 2 collided, and the defender came away with the ball. Next throw, incomplete to Saquon. So, like, he starts the day 0 for 3, which is very rare for him, including an interception. He ends the day 16 of 24 with the 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Now, there's a lot of debate amongst beat writers about another play where he threw an interception. I felt he was sacked on the play, and I'm the official ruler of the stats, so I'm not giving him the interception. But here's what I'm trying to convey to people. Like, I am giving the Eagles and Jalen the benefit of the doubt on a lot of these 50-50 calls. And the amount of like leeway they're getting on the 50-50 calls is starting to stack up. There was another play in the open practice. There's video. There's video of it where I felt it wasn't an interception. I did not give it an interception. But then you watch the video and it's like, it's a little closer than I thought. So, like, for Jalen today, he had another throw in the red zone where he threw it. It was tipped up by a defender. It's just like floating in the air. It should have been intercepted, and it wasn't. So while he had the 2 touchdowns, and this is why training camp stats require context, while he had the 2 touchdowns versus 1 interception, it really, to me, was more of like a no touchdown, 3 interception day. So he wasn't good. Like, I don't know what to say. Jimmy Kempski told me he thought it was Jalen's worst day of camp. Our good friend Brandon Lee Goutwin, I gave Jalen a C-. He thought that was like generous. Tim McManus agreed that I was on the higher end of what Jalen's grade could have been. So again, I am not coming on here and like rooting for chaos and making things up. Like, Jalen was not good today. And, you know, the last thing I'll say that you could react to if you want, or if you could just react to that first, but like, Jalen is not throwing a lot of touchdowns. And here's my proof of that. So if you look over the years, this year through 14 practices, Jalen has 12 touchdowns. Last year in 14 practices, he had 21 touchdowns. In 2023 in 14 practices, he had 15 touchdowns in 14 practices. In 2022, he had 22 in 14 practices. So, like, I'm not huge into patterns, but I think there's a pretty clear pattern here. 2022, he had 22 touchdowns. He had an awesome year. 2023, he had 15 touchdowns. He didn't have as great of a year. 2024, 21 touchdowns. Had an awesome year. 2025, 12 touchdowns. The lowest amount he's had through 14 practices in 4 years. And we'll see. Maybe he will have an awesome year. I think when you're the Super Bowl MVP, you deserve the benefit of the doubt. And I can see you gearing up to say you don't care. Like, I get it. I know. I'm just trying to let people know that it has reached the point. Like, early on in training camp, I was willing to say, whatever. He's completing a lot of passes. Like, it has reached a point where I think he is teetering on having a bad training camp. And I can't lie to the people. Like, maybe that won't correlate in the regular season. Maybe there's different reasons for it that aren't his fault. But the offense has not been impressive in 14 practices, and they were not impressive today. They're lucky the defense was good, and they're lucky they played the Browns. I easily could have handed them an L here, but I didn't. But man, it was not what you wanted to see from them today.
Yeah, look, it's not a bit.
I know. It is
like,
what it
here's
is.
how I feel, honestly. Like, first of all, whenever Jalen, and the numbers can be what they are, and obviously, we have different opinions on how
the pattern is the pattern.
How meaningful those numbers are. But I remember doing these pods, and it's never like there'll be days where Jalen's great, and there'll be days where he's okay, but it's always based on interceptions and touchdowns and the actual, like, is he protecting the ball and stuff like that. Like, but we've never talked about Jalen as a dynamite practice player. He's just never been that.
Well, he was a record-setting.
Yeah, sure, in terms of not throwing interceptions, but you never come on and be like, Jalen was amazing, like day after day after day after day.
Right, he doesn't have 10 amazing
passes. He's an uneven practice player. He always is. Like, and I just think that I've always thought that he's one of those guys who, when it matters, he plays. And I think that's been borne out by the fact that when it matters the most, he is at his best. I just think it's really hard to win the Super Bowl and, like, have the same juice for a joint practice against the Browns. And I know you practice like you perform. I know. I get it. And all that. Like, I don't know. I can't, like, would I prefer he's better in these practices? Yes. Do I think it's some harbinger of actually what's going to happen? No, like, again, they might be, and not to go JJ Watt on you, because I don't agree with his
for sure.
It's fine. But, like, they might be saying, hey, Jalen, are you all right? All right, here we go. Did you swallow the gum? Sorry for the interruption. I got Zoe next to me.
No, swallowing gum is scary.
You all right now? Okay, she's good. Everyone, we're good. Choking situation averted.
Eagles, not so much. Zoe,
great job. Eagles are choking, Zoe's not choking.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe they're telling Jalen to work on trying to fit certain balls in, or trying to look for his get to a fourth progression. And by then, like, I don't know. Correct. I don't know what they're doing with him. So, like, again, to your point, especially with Jalen and the way he's been in practices throughout his career, like, I'm big time benefit of the doubt here. But look, we'll see. You've got the pattern, and you're concerned. There's definitely concern. I can hear your voice.
Let me give some counters to that. So one, where I ultimately fall in this is when you're holding the Super Bowl MVP, you are allowed to not have good practices. Like, full stop, right? That being said, when he has good days, we never go like, well, maybe the defense was working on this, right? So it feels like whenever he has bad days, that's when people are like, well, maybe it's this. But when he has good days, we just accept it as that's a good performance, right? So I agree, over one practice, maybe that's a possibility. But when we're talking about, to a certain degree, 4 years of stats and, like, good input versus bad output, you can't convince me that in 2023 and 2025 they're telling him to do things, and in 2022 and 2024
no, I'm not saying that specifically. I'm just saying maybe he is where we know, and we've heard that he works on different things each offseason. Like, he works to strengthen different parts of his game, things that he's weak at. We had Greg Bishop on the morning show, and he talked about in that feature he wrote on him. He talked about it's one of the unique things about Jalen. Now, most quarterbacks, work on things they're good at, get better at what you're good at, and they'll work on it.
Manning talked about
this.
Yeah.
This is something Jalen does. So, like, I just don't know what he's been working on, where he's at. We're still, 3 weeks from the season. Like, I get your point, and I'm not, like, I understand, and I can hear the concern in your voice based on past training camp performance. It's just not a 1-to-1 to me. I don't look at it and say, well, he only threw 12 touchdowns this camp. Like, that means he's not going to have a good season. Like, I can't do that. I can't, as a general rule, I will never, ever, ever, and no offense, this has nothing to do with your stats or anything. I think it's good that you keep them. I think it's valuable to know the information. I think more information is better, but I don't ever overrate any of it. You know the way I am with spring training, and I think there's more value to training camp than spring training, but I look at it in a similar-ish vein. Like, I don't take it seriously until we're in games. And even then, look, the Eagles have said they did it last year. Saquon said it after the 2-2 start. Like, that was training camp for us. That was preseason for us. Like, it's just different now. Like, I don't expect this offense to be firing at all cylinders until we're 6-7 weeks into the season. So, I just, you know what I mean? And I know that last year is further along and all. It's just, again, like, I can't get too worked up over it is where I'm at.
I think that's
especially
fair.
Again, as someone who philosophically does not put too much into preseason training camp, other than for position battles and stuff where you're going to get the job or not. Like, I don't personally like the what we hear about performance. Like, I don't put too much into it. Like, I don't think like Jalen's gonna have a breakout or a bad season based on anything that happens in training camp unless he got hurt or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So a couple things off that. One, I will say, like, so why do I think Jalen has fewer touchdowns, right? Or like, why do I think the numbers are what they are? What I would say is, like, ignore the interception part of it, because Jalen's always been somebody that throws a small amount of interceptions in training camp. He's never had a year where he throws 10 or 11. Like, it's last year he only had one, but it's not like he normally has a bunch. He's normally 4 or 5, right? This year, I don't think he is throwing more interceptions than normal. I think he's at 5, if I do the math right off the top of my head, and that's if you add in one that I didn't even count. So he's not even throwing a ton of interceptions. My thing that I see as one of the reasons the offense, in my opinion, is struggling to pass the ball. One, Devontae missed a bunch of time, then AJ missed a bunch of time. So that's part of it. AJ was not out there today. So that's part of it.
Landon Dickerson today probably hurt
so
them.
The other thing is, at one point in practice today, for the majority of practice, I would say, because Lane only did about half the team drills, probably a little less than half. The offensive line was Matt Pryor, Tyler Steen, Cam Jurgens, Brett Toth, and Mailata. If I'm doing it right to left, I might be doing. The point I'm making is Pryor, Steen, and Toth were in there, whereas last year it was Lane, Becton, and Dickerson, right? So I think that's part of it. And today the Cleveland Browns were all over Jalen. Like, they got to Jalen quickly. If I forget the touchdowns and the interceptions if you want to for a minute, I have him down as being sacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then 2 more quarterback runs, which are essentially sacks because there's nothing to do there, right? So like, that's 7 times if my math was right off the top of my head. Like, that's a decent amount of times. And then that's also, there's times where he's throwing the ball even when there's pressure. So I thought they got good pressure. Now, again, this comes down to what you want to believe, because on one hand, I could go, well, here's the concern loud and clear. They are dealing with a ton of injuries. AJ's hurt, Devontae's hurt, Landon's hurt. Like, they have 2 new guards in there. They have a new tackle with Lane out. Like, we can sit here and say those things won't happen in the regular season, but maybe we're being naive to the fact that some of these things might happen in the regular season. And you're seeing, when you're missing 1 or 2 pieces, Jalen is struggling to make the offense special in these pieces, in the absence of these pieces. So like, when I think of Jalen in training camp, I picture him running a lot because there's pressure. I actually don't think he's being reckless with the ball. And today, I don't think he put the ball in harm's way like a ton, for what it's worth, but it's just, he's not throwing touchdowns. Like, the team is not operating at a high level in the red zone. Now, in the regular season, maybe they'll run it more, and like, that's more effective in a game.
I'm sure they will.
For sure, right? They will. I just, they don't look.
And I also don't think they're going to show their best plays against the Browns. I know it's a joint practice.
Well, they got to run their best plays at one point. Like, they got to practice them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure they practice them against themselves. Like, I'm sure they're not running their best stuff against any team in the league. Like, why would you know?
No, but I mean, like, not just the Browns today. I'm talking in general. Like,
no, I know,
you're going to run your stuff. Yeah.
No, in practice, of course they are. But
you're not game planning against.
But they're not letting you guys see the best stuff, right?
Well, I don't know.
Most of it, right?
The point I'm making is, like, the plays are the plays, and you have to practice the plays. Now, the difference is they're not game planning against the Browns, right? So they're not running their best stuff against what the Browns are running.
Yeah, they're not like exactly. Yeah.
Right. But I thought it was so I did think it was interesting. Prior to practice, Kevin Patullo said that they will game plan like for these joint practices sometimes, because like they played the Browns last year and they know what they like to run. Jalen said after practice, it sounds like there wasn't much game planning, which thank God, like that would have been concerning if there was game planning. But yeah, it's not going well is just the best way for me to put it. And I thought today, and everyone else agrees with me, was not a good day. It was not a good day for the offense. It was not a good day for Jalen. It was also weird. They didn't give it to Saquon a ton. Like, we've talked so much on this pod about,
going to be different in the season, I would think.
No, agreed. But that's the weird thing to me is like they've used Saquon a ton in these practices. And then today they have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 play drive. Saquon touches it once. AJ Dillon touches it twice, and Shipley touches it once. Like,
well, this could be an exact example of what we've been talking about of when they do get like, it's smart to get Saquon rest against other teams. You got guys coming in.
Yeah, you don't want to get hurt
him.
Yeah,
like
true.
He's Saquon. Like, so like I think that if you're gonna give him time off, like Saquon doesn't need reps against the Browns. He just doesn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you know what
no,
I mean?
I agree. I agree with you. Now,
so again,
Saquon,
like, and I get it. So, but it's hard to like with. So you're saying today they basically didn't use Saquon much, didn't have was it AJ or Devontae? And then AJ, and then didn't have three of their starting offensive linemen.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
so,
it's just like hard to like.
What I agree with you
with that. And again, it's practice. So like, I don't know. I get it. Let's get some other players. I get it. We get there. Like, yeah, we know it's more important to you than to me. Like, you want to see them do better tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see if they take it personally, or if there's anything like that, or if more players play or whatever. All right, who else? What else stood out? I know. Do you want to go offense or defense? Let's stick with the offense first. Was there anything else that stood out on the offensive side of the ball? You've already mentioned, obviously, Jalen and the O-line struggling with the pieces.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to break down who struggled and who didn't on the O-line. It just realistically, like,
in that moment, there's no replays. It's hard to do. You're watching the ball. Right? It's hard to do.
Now I think that Will Shipley had a good day. Will Shipley looks awesome when he gets in the open field. I thought he ran hard through the tackles today. He touched the ball quite a bit with the first team, to your point of them not using a ton of Saquon. I thought Shipley looked better than A.J. Dillon today. A.J. Dillon is a good player.
Same in the preseason game, by the way.
Yeah,
I like A.J. Dillon, but Shipley looks better. Shipley looks awesome. The one thing it feels like he's missing that last gear. We saw him get run down in the championship game.
We saw him get 40-yard run.
Yeah, he's a big 50-yard guy. He can get a 70-yarder. Yeah, exactly. It just feels like at the end of the run, he just runs out of steam a little bit, and people catch him. But like, if that's your biggest issue, okay.
Yeah, for sure. So I thought he had a good day today. Goddard had a nice catch. One of the better throws that Jalen had was to Goddard. So Goddard, I thought, had a good day. Anais Smith got a few catches on the final drive, which is not a good thing for the offense. You don't really want Anais Smith being involved. Johnny Wilson. I can't remember if we talked about Johnny Wilson.
We did.
Johnny Wilson had two really nice catches today.
Oh, he's flashing.
Both 50-50 balls down the field where he went up and just straight up used his size. One from Tanner McKee, one from Jalen Hurts. Honestly, almost carbon copies of the play. Like the McKee one came first, and I swear Jalen was like, well, I'll just do that. And so he did the same thing on the next. And it's important because Johnny Wilson has not had a good training camp so far, in my opinion, but he's definitely been better. I do think those catches in the preseason game gave him a little bit of confidence, because he's been way better since that preseason game. So I thought he had a really nice day. I do think we're starting to get like a little more clarity on the tight end position. I think Kylan Granson is clearly the number 3 guy behind, obviously, Goddard and Calcaterra. He had a few catches today. He was with the second team, but I think he got more reps and more action than Bryant or EJ Jenkins. So I think we're starting to see a little bit of clarity there. Devontae with AJ out was a huge part of their offense. Devontae had a ton of targets, like probably 5 or 6 on the day, and he had a touchdown. So Devontae was really good. But yeah, when AJ's not there, this is actually—
You feel it.
Yeah, it's a debate I get in with some of my friends all the time of like, could they succeed without AJ? And I think there is a difference between having an off season without AJ on your roster and succeeding there, as opposed to AJ goes down in week 3 for 2 games. Like, I think it's harder to succeed there. But there's no question, when AJ's not on the field, so far in his career, Jalen's not as good. Like, point blank. Like, we could debate what would happen if AJ was traded or whatever. Like, I think Jalen's a better quarterback now than he was in 2021, obviously. So we've never seen a full year of it. But when AJ's out, like, they really struggle, and they really only have Devontae at that point in terms of a receiver. Obviously,
you would think if AJ were gone for real, they would replace him with someone better than whoever's going to fill in a game and stuff. So it's hard to do that 1-to-1. But yeah, it's inarguable. He's one of the 5 best receivers in football, probably. And it's a massively important difference-making type guy. And I do think that it is a safety thing for Hurts too, where we saw it on that 4th down play in the championship game, when he has to have it, like AJ is the
4th down play against the Giants, like after the Browns lost, right? So yeah, agreed. Obviously, like, breaking news, AJ is really important, but it is important. I don't want to see it, but I would love to just have a hypothetical world where I could see what would happen if they had to replace AJ for a year, just to settle a debate. Honestly,
I don't want to see it.
No, I know. I you
can have your debate. I'm good on that one. We can skip that. I got you. All right, let's flip it over to the defense, because look, it seems like the defense has had a decent camp so far. And if they had a good
so we'll
day
find
today,
out, what is it? Is it great defense or bad offense?
And here, I want to hear your overall thoughts, but I think the guy I'm most interested in right now is Jacorian Bennett. We've heard so little about him. We haven't seen him much. So overall, but definitely a Jacorian Bennett update as well.
So obviously, like, I can't key in on Jacorian Bennett on every snap. But so, like, the observations I have from him, he had one nice pass breakup, and then he had two bad plays that I say outweigh the good one. One was he gave up a long catch down the sideline. The other one, he had a very clear pass interference call that got flagged over the middle of the field. I don't think, in my opinion so far, Jacorian Bennett has not made ground on either Keely or Adoree. Now, we're only talking about...
Yes, he's been here 3-4 practice, whatever.
And maybe more like 2, right?
2, wow. So it's impossible to judge yet.
Right. So there's still a little bit of time. Now, Adoree Jackson today started the day with the first team defense. I do think in these practices, they're giving you the clearest look at the depth chart. Like, I don't think
I agree with you.
Messing around too much with the depth chart in these practices. But again, like, later on in practice, Keely was with the one. So my biggest takeaway from the depth chart stuff today is they are undecided at corner. And the other thing that was surprising to me was Makuba got first team reps today at safety. Wow. So I understand you want to give him a chance. I understand he was a second round pick. Like, bottom line is, sooner or later, you want Sidney Brown to get some type of chemistry with Reed Blankenship. Like, he's got to play.
Well, if he's going to play.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
Like, maybe they want Makuba to win the job. Like, I mean, I think in a perfect world for them, Andrew Makuba is the starting safety.
I agree. Now, I will say Sidney gave an answer to a question that, like, kind of concerned me a little. He was asked, this was yesterday's practice, not today's, like, what did you learn from the first preseason game? And this is a pretty mundane question. Like, players get asked this all the time. And it took him like 10 seconds to think. And then he was kind of like, well, it was good to get effort out there. Like, it was not maybe he was deciding how in depth he wanted to go. But then he also said later in the press conference something like, I probably didn't do a good enough job learning the playbook when I was injured. So I wonder, those two answers combined.
That's a tough answer.
Yeah, those two answers combined, it's like, hey, I appreciate that you realize you didn't do a good job. And didn't strike me as Mr. Film Room knows the defense in and out guy, right?
Especially if you're injured, you would think, what else are you worried about? You know?
So that was
playbook,
So that was concerning to me. And then I think that, to your point, I'm sure they want Makuba to win it, but I just think they are undecided. Now, what's tough is, like, they go up against the Browns today, and I can't remember off the top of my head Keely or Adoree getting beat. I think the Browns, they threw it again 19 times. I can think of maybe 3 or 4 throws that were like of substance. A lot of them were checkdowns, and then a lot of them, again, that were checkdowns were incomplete. But yeah, I think what's concerning to me about the defense watching them is they are very undecided at safety and corner so far. And that's not what you want to be 3 weeks out from the start. Like, again, the start of the season is 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. So sooner or later, whoever it's going to be, you want that person to, like, get reps, have confidence, like, all those things. If this is going to be something they're going to show up on, like, the Sunday before the game and be like, all right, well, Sidney, it's you. That's not really putting the players in position to succeed either. Or if you're going to trade for somebody, you're running out of time to get that person acclimated. So 3 weeks into camp, I guess. Yeah, roughly, like 14 practices though. I would hope they would have more clarity. I would hope that I would be coming on here and being like, good news, Keely's been freaking awesome and he won the job, or like Sidney every day is making a play that stands out to me. And it couldn't be further from the truth with that. Like, nobody has stood out for better or worse. And I think you can see that in how they're managing these people and giving them chance. Everybody's getting a chance because no one's taking a hold of the opportunity.
Yeah, so like that kind of thing concerns me more than Jalen, to the point of stuff that, like,
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Because it's like those are guys who have an opportunity for a job, and you would like to see someone kind of shine. Now, I will say, just to the point you made about what those guys know, like, it is possible that Adoree Jackson knows he's a starter or something like that. Like, it's possible that we don't know what, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that Vic we don't know, or Keely or what. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm not saying I expect. I'm just saying we don't know that aspect of it, how their mental framework is or whatever. They might think they're competing for it, in which case, like, you'd like to see someone look more like they're competing for it. So I get it. I think the unrest in the secondary, and as we've talked about, the depth of the pass rush, and whether Josh Uche really will do it in games, whether Jalix Hunt can really take the step forward that we hope he can, like that type of stuff. that's more concerning to me than anything else we've talked about in training camp. The fact that no one, and I know Uche's been solid. Like, I don't want to downplay
And Uche had a good play today where he
he's been good, but where it feels more unsure about that. Like, again, the Landon Dickerson injury is something, and look, since we, heard about it and talked, like, great news, obviously, that the chance he could be back week one. Even if he's not, if he's back early in the season, that's a win for what we were thinking it was going to be in the moment. But to your point, it does show that, the depth there is a question mark, and we don't know that Brett Toth or Matt Pryor can come in and do a great job there.
Let's actually get into the Dixon thing, because me and you haven't had a chance to talk about that on the pod together. So I've made my opinion on it pretty clear. Like, I've done the daily pods and stuff, but like, where are you at with your level of concern? You take us through the emotional roller coaster, just like, where are you at with Dickerson?
Yeah, well, obviously when it first happened, it was devastating to hear. It was one of the last plays, and at the open practice, so there's 50,000 people watching it happen, and it's just, you and Jack have to discuss it. That must have been a real fun moment.
Dude, let me tell you, it's harder than you think.
I know. I know.
Because I'm trying to be sensitive to the fact that this person is injured. So I don't want to be like, oh, this is terrible. He's, whatever. But I'm also trying to be honest by saying, like, this dude is hurt. And it's funny, the next morning, I heard you say it on the air better than I could. But it is true. Like, there are a lot of times Dickerson goes off the field and we think this is really bad. And then he's back like 2 snaps later. So I'm trying to say that without sounding like, oh, this guy's probably just faking it. Like, it was harder than you would think live on air to discuss an injury.
I can imagine.
Shout out to Mel. Pretty good. You're not
expecting it. Yeah, exactly right. No, and it is true. Dickerson, I mean, I think a lot of people agreed when I said it and all that. Like, he is someone who seems to leave with an injury and come back, and he's a warrior. He's tough and all that. So, first initial thing was, oh no. Especially as, people started to see more of the video, and it's like, oh, it was a non-contact thing. It looked like that, all that type of stuff, where he planted and then lifted the leg up and then got hit.
Right.
So I was fearing the worst, honestly. I was hoping for the best. And look, I just don't think we could have gotten better news. Like, and look, I don't think it means that you can say, oh, Landon, he's back and he's fine for the rest of the year and whatever. Like, who knows with this? It does seem like this should, it's more of a long-term hamper to him than a short-term thing by doing this surgery to get him back quicker. Mm-hmm. Whereas he could have had the reconstruction or whatever. So, I appreciate that he's willing to put the team first over the potential long-term ramifications to his knee.
Right.
But I also don't know what that means for him in year 6, year 7, year 8, whatever. So, like, I don't know. Like, I'm definitely concerned about the whole situation. And Dickerson, who has been so great, is someone who we remember. There was a reason I was a Dickerson guy and you weren't when they drafted him, because of the injuries in college. Yeah. It was like, there were so many people who were concerned that he was never even going to do what he's done already as a player. It's kind of like the Embiid thing where we like look at it and say, like, what a disappointment, because he never got to, he hasn't gotten past second round. And it's all true. But at the same time, you could also look at it and say, like I didn't know if that guy was ever going to play a basketball game in the NBA for the first 2 years of his career. So it's like, I do think that, the thing we can say about Dickerson, he's incredibly tough. He's going to play through things. We saw it last year in the NFC Championship game. We know he was playing through stuff in the Super Bowl and all that. So he's a tough guy who plays through things. So I do think that getting the surgery and if there's pain, I do think he'll be able to tough through and do a better job than anyone replacing him would and all that. But I am excited that he's come back. I don't want them to rush it too much. Like, if he's not there for the Dallas game, like, you know what? Okay. I'm okay with that. Big time. Yeah. Like, if he's not there till Tampa, cool, man. It's okay.
Right.
So I'm big in that. Like, play this smart. I want Landon Dickerson for the second, the second 2/3 of the season more than the first, or the last 3 quarters more than the first quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I probably should have gone quarters with an NFL reference, but
well, it's uneven now. It's 17 now. So.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, but ultimately, I'm really happy with how it's played. I think the Eagles got really lucky, but I do think that it also has made me think about, to your point, how they are super talented, but you lose a couple of key guys and it can fall apart quickly. It's scary.
So I think where I'm at with Dickerson just quickly would be, again, this is not going to surprise you, is when big guys miss times off their feet, like I'm concerned about that, right? So I am with you. While I don't want him to spend a ton of time off his feet, because then I would rather have him be 110% when he comes back than be Mr. Look, I'm doing it in week 1 to prove a point, but you're 85%.
Or to be there for this banner that I want to play in, even sometimes they got to protect him from himself. He wants to play week 1. I'm sure of it, And
so Brett Toth talked after practice, and by the way, like, while I know Brett Toth got into it with our good friend BLG, and he
seems like a very nice guy.
He seems like a very nice guy,
and he's a great story. Like his story is if you don't know Brett Toth's story, check it out. It's a really cool story for him to actually be playing on an NFL roster.
Right. So, like, after practice, he talks, and the first thing he says, what I thought was very cool, is like, I want to make this clear. Like, Landon's the man. Landon's worked hard. I'm only talking about this because of an unfortunate injury, but like, this is so that was very nice. But while I get that, like, he's been here for a long time, and Jeff Stoutland believes in him and all that, there's a reason he's never been put in the game. Like, they've had 7 years to make him the guy, and they have not made him the guy. So, if it is going to be Brett Toth week 1. That's concerning to me. And that is one thing, if you want to talk big picture, like takeaway from the practice, it probably wouldn't be as much the lack of passing touchdowns. It would be more just for the one thing that derails most seasons is injuries. Like there are quite a bit piling up a little bit. And that'd be my concern with Landon is like, I think he'll come back. I think he'll play, but like, will he come back and play and miss another game? Like, what if Steen misses time? He's had injuries. So that just my thing is like, and I don't have a ton of faith in the backups. Like Matt Pryor today, again, hard for me to judge, but I think he jumped off sides once. I know that he gave up a sack. I think it was Myles Garrett, which like, most people do that. But the offensive line, like, not exactly, to me at least, clicking on all cylinders, but it's Jeff Stoutland, it's Lane, it's Cam, it's Mailata. Mailata seemed to really be laboring through practice, by the way. And to me, it seems like
it's been a really fun pod.
I know, yeah. And I feel like he's had a bit of a rough training camp, like not in his play. It just feels like every time I look at him, it's like
you're really a joy to talk to.
He's talking to trainers, or he's coming off the field, and he's kind of like
great.
Yeah. So I mean, look, once practice is over, he seems fine, but during practice, it seems like he's really laboring.
Look, we know it's hard to go to the Super Bowl and come back the next year, whether you win or lose it. We've seen it. They've gone into 2 out of the last 3 Super Bowls. They've played deep, and they've been unbelievably, and I don't want to just say lucky, but I think it's part luck, they've done a great job managing stuff and, the preseason and like they've done a good job in managing guys throughout the season, all that. But like it's very unlikely that if they make a Super Bowl run again, that they're gonna have 22 or 21 starters again. Like we thought it was unlike the first time. In fact, that happened almost again is unbelievable. Like, injuries are part of the sport. I mean, we saw it in Detroit last year. Like, I agree with you. It was almost, Elliot, that was another thing that I felt with the Dickerson thing. It was like I had almost forgotten because we lost to Kobe in the playoffs last year, but you're so close to the Super Bowl at that point. It feels like, oh, it's a big loss, but we're right there. Like it sucks. I had almost forgotten what it was like to have like an early season catastrophic injury and what you feel like of like the impact to the whole season and how much it's going to hurt. I had forgotten what that felt like because it had been so long since like the 2017.
Right. Well, again, not to jinx it, but can you think of the last big in training camp injury? Like Jeremy Maclin, I think, but that was a long time ago. Like
it's been a long time.
Like so hopefully there's not another one.
Landon Dickerson. There it is. That's the one. Yeah. So, look, we'll see where it goes, but I agree with you. I think by far, and there are a bunch of things that could happen that will make the Eagles not win the Super Bowl this year, but I think by far the most likely reason they don't win is injuries. Like it just is. And that's probably true for a lot of teams, but like in certain 100%. Ways. But,
yep. 100%.
All right. Any other things from today before we get to final thoughts? And obviously tomorrow we will be back after Day practice 2. Again. Day 2 reacting.
Need a better performance.
Jalen's going to come out angry. He's going to have heard Elliot's comments.
Let's hope.
Use it as fuel. All right. Let's get to final thoughts, my friend.
Man, I have so many good ones. I can't decide. All right. Okay. I'm going to go with this one because it's kind of related to my trip, as I still have some. So I don't know how they would do it. I don't know where they would go. I don't know what they would be. But I kind of think we should bring back castles. Like castles are pretty dope. Like
aren't castles still around though? I mean, like
the old ones are around, but you never really.
You're saying we should start building people castles.
Yeah, build new castles.
I love this. I don't hate this. The question is like, it takes some real chutzpah
I
to
agree.
be
I feel like we're shaming people out of castles.
That's me. I'm the one building the castle down the street.
Right. So
yeah.
I get why
I
we
just
don't do
feel
it.
like I'm a king and I should have a castle. You know, like
But
what do you
they're
say
so-
to people?
but they're
I
so
feel like I
cool.
am royalty and you are in your little peasant homes and I have my castle
Right.
looking down on you. Ha ha ha. Like it's impossible to avoid it. I agree with you. Castles are dope. At the basic point, castles are dope.
Yeah, like they're sick architecturally. Like put them up in the imagine in the hills of the Poconos, there was like a castle that belonged to a family, and it was there for 400 years, and family after family used it. Like when I go and visit these castles overseas, like they're so cool. And look, I know that they're not modern, right? So obviously, like living in a castle, it would have to look different on the inside than they used to, but. Again, we don't want to get into like authoritarianism and all that. I just think castles are really cool, and the idea of them.
You don't want to talk about fascism?
No,
or
I'm not like supporting that.
You're not trying to go deep there on that.
No, I'm not saying a certain someone should build a castle, even, but I'm saying like I do think the ideas of castles I think are very cool, and I would like to figure out a way to get them going into society again because I think they're beautiful. I love the idea of a house. I mean, think about this: how many houses stay in families for more than 200 years now?
It's a great point,
right? Like I feel like that's. I mean, honestly, probably shore houses. Are shore houses the new castles? I feel like kind of. Like, what other house stays in a family for so long other than a shore house?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so, Elliott Castle Parks. This is great.
Elliott Shore loves.
Loves castles.
I was thinking the P was castle, but it's just
no. But I like this. This is good. I think we got a real insight into you.
Thank you.
It's good. I'll lighten the mood and make it a little less serious than being a castle owner. No,
I think it'd be cool. Yeah,
I would be. Zoe, come on over.
Okay.
I'm going to cede my
fought hard on that one.
I'm ceding my final thoughts here today.
Is Zoe, she going to give a final thought?
She was all excited to come over, and now here we go. Here we go. Come on over. All right. You want to talk in the microphone here? Say hello right here. You got to talk into it.
Hello.
There she is.
Hello, there she is.
What'd you have to say?
I'm going to do the Eagles chant.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
E-A-G-L-E-X. Eagles!
Eagles!
There it is. No better way to end the pod. No better way to end the pod than that.
I'm done, so we can hang out now and play together. Is that so fun?
And I love the Eagles.
That's my girl. It's my girl.
She
right
took your
there.
talking points. That's
right. She gets it. I'm never saying Dallas sucks in no time.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Dallas
yeah.
Sucks?
Dallas sucks.
They're
there
damn right.
Wait, but can I say my name?
Yes, your name.
And my name is Zoe.
Right.
Z-O-E.
Z-O-E. All right. We will be back tomorrow after practice reacting to what'll be a dominant Eagles performance. And if it's not,
hope.
You know what? I'll be okay with it.
Who cares, right?
L-E-S Eagles. Until then, he's Item James.
E-L-G-L-E-X.